First of all, da'wah itself is an experience which has to be experienced in the hand of the ulama sunnah. Not you individually sit down and assume how to do da'wah. Living between the ulama sunnah, we praise Allah, I praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We saw how the da'wah was done, how the crises were handled, how the issues were adopted, how the refutations were given, how the falsehood was vanished. So these are not being done by our own assumptions and methodologies. Rather, I look into the footsteps of the ulama sunnah, how they did, and with the usul what they taught, and with what the sahabas did and the tabi'is did, we adapt on that road. May be new to you all, my dear Muslims, but not to Islam and to the sunnah and the sahabas and the salaf and the immatus sunnah. To them what I am doing is not new. This is what has to be done. Yes, it can be new at town, no doubt. Salafi dawah is being started at the beginning, it has to be new at town. For after this you are going to learn what is Salafiyah. You are going to learn all these things. And whatever I am saying, I am producing you evidences pre-hand. For why? You understand that what I am doing is behind the footsteps of the ulama, sunnah and the sahabas application. Like what Ibn Umar dealt with the person who came on the talk of Qadr. Like what Abdullah ibn Mas'ud dealt with the person who was talking on the matter of the adhkar. And all these, the ways of the Sahaba, they judged. They ruled. And that made fundamentals for us to adopt. And like Imam Ahmad and Yahya ibn Ma'in and similar you have in history a lot. So dear Muslims, these are methodologies we read and understand in history, not to keep in our dreams, rather to apply in our applications. And the fundamental of Imam Barbahari we read in Sharh Sunnah. Why you read it? This is time for application. Yeah, we apply it. We are not going to give excuse for the people who rushed up in coming against the Salafiyah. We are not going to expect an excuse, rather than repenting and coming in public and having silence, and they have shown their corruption to the public, not only to us. And I tell you, this I should have done very early, but even then I am late on it. I had called them personally and advised, because I knew their ignorance. But they never took themselves as their ignorance. Rather, they thought they are educated ones. That's why I mentioned in the gathering that Allah's Quranic verse, مِن بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْعِلْمُ بَغْيًا بَيْنَهُمْ. The ikhtilaf came between the people. مِن بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْعِلْمُ بَغْيًا بَيْنَهُمْ, Allah says. The differences came between the people after the knowledge came between them in transgressing mode. That means they took knowledge and used it in other than its context. That's the transgression. Usuls out of its chapter, shaykhs out of its area, and that's happening now by many. So I would like to advise my old Salafi brothers, with the knowledge which Allah has bestowed you to know, don't rush up for judgments. Don't make yourself a judge. If you have not been realized and recommended by the ulama sunnah to do a duty, don't do the duty. It's better for you. Man istajala qabla awanihi uqiba bihirmanihi. They say in Arabic, the wisdom, who hurry up before his time, he will be given the haram of what getting it. He will be given the haram, he will be becoming illegal of getting the rewards. That means if you hurry before your time, you won't have the chance of getting the good of the Prophet. Rather, you will lose it. So the people who are having little ilm, if they start putting their mouth and judging and rushing up, they will not use their knowledge on the right track. Rather, they will lose the good of the knowledge what they have. So it's time everyone keeps silence and look into their matters of studying the religion thoroughly and practicing. Ad-Da'wah Salafiyah in this land has started by Allah's mercy as a beginning, and everyone know we are just at the beginning process. Still our schedule, timetable has not been organized. And every one of those brothers know what we have our plans to do. We have discussed with them, we have written it in the books, and everything has been. Only it is to set up the time, and put the schedule and inform the people. Between that, all this crisis. Between that, before we could set up our sound system, before we could set up our hall, before we could set up our people sitting down, all this crisis. They are knowing very well, the one who are creating the crisis, they know very well what are the subjects we have mentioned to teach, what are the schedules and timetables we have pre-hand organized to bring to the community. It's not that they never knew it, they knew it. Instead of that, their hastiness made them to do this thing. So here in the Salafi Dawah, which has started in the pondicherry by Allah's mercy and blessings, Allah has tested us in showing us the good from the false. That's one of His great mercy. Before we go half of the journey and we find the person into corruption. So at the beginning Allah shows they are not to be with you. They has to be expelled so that the clean team can take up this and maintain this. This is among Allah's blessings. And I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He opened our eye before we put our schedule. What happened? If we had put our schedule and put them as teachers and they to conduct classes over here, and inside the classes if they were to start up the corruption, what would have happened? The corruption would be more wider. But Allah preserved it for things to come out and show us. Dear brothers, every time when the kalimatul haqq comes, the batil cannot keep silent. Because the batil knows, if the truth comes, it won't be remaining, it will vanish. So it is struggling, the full struggle before the truth comes, to keep it shut, or to keep the crowd away from it. This is all the struggle going in. By Allah's mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give victory to His religion, as He said, In tansurullaha yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. If you give victory to Allah, Allah will give victory to you and firm your foot on that fundamentals of the Surah Muhammad's verse. Let's have our attitude of giving victory to Allah's religion. That is practicing Islam. What Allah has bestowed us of the ilm, of the Kitab as-Sunnah. Kitab was-Sunnah. Ala ma kana alayhi nabi was-sahaba. Of what the Rasulullah, the Sahaba were. Let's practice it and maintain it. Inshallah, every junction, every crisis, every corruption will be met with ilm, and it will overtake the falsehood. Only I call upon our brothers to keep yourself firm with the ilm which Allah has bestowed to you and act upon it. And inzil an-nasa ala manazilihim. Give the people their own limits of status. Don't put people below, nor press people above. Maintain as what it is. Everything will go fine. Truth will always vanish the falsehood, as Allah says, قُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَدَحَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say the truth has come, وَدَحَقَ الْبَاطِلِ, the falsehood will vanish, إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا, verily the falsehood has to vanish. This is a sincere advice to all my brothers, and pass this message to everyone. Continue acting on the ilm which Allah has bestowed, and be firm upon it, and don't waste your time with unwanted crises and corruptions, which is just wastage. Inshallah, ilm wal amalu bihi, seeking knowledge and action upon it, will overcome everything. If you are unable to understand, ilm will solve you. If you are understanding it, amal will solve it. So ilm wal amalu bihi is the solution to all these things. Allahu alam. This is a little nasiha I gave to all of you in front. Unless you have any questions, barakallahu fikum.